Hello, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to my very first episode of Exploring with Riley King. About Exploring with Riley King. Exploring with Riley King will air weeknights on the Riley King Network. Exploring with Riley King is a nightly magazine program about the people and places that make New Hampshire, Boston, and Maine special. We will cover those three New England areas. Let's kick it off with my first episode about the state of New Hampshire. Under an English land grant, Captain John Smith sent settlers to establish a fishing colonial at the mouth of the Piscataqua River near present day Rye and Dover in 1623. Captain John Mason, who participated in the founding of Portsmouth in 1630, gave New Hampshire its name. After a 38-year period of union with Massachusetts, New Hampshire was made a separate royal colonial in 1679. As leaders in the Revolution cause, New Hampshire delegates received the honor of being the first to vote for the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. New Hampshire gained a measure of international attention in 1905 when Portsmouth Naval Base played host to the signing of the treaty ending the Russo-Japanese War, known as the Treaty of Portsmouth. Abundant water power turned New Hampshire into an industrial state early on, and manufacturing is the principal source of income. The most important industrial products are electricity and other machinery, textiles, pulp and paper products, and stone and clay products. Dairy and poultry and growing fruit, truck vegetables, corn, potatoes, and hay are major agricultural pursuits. Because of New Hampshire's scenic and recreational resources, tourism now brings over 3.5 billion into the state annually. Vacation attractions include Lake Winnipesaukee, largest of 1,300 lakes and ponds, the 724,000-acre White Mountain National Forest, Daniel Webster's Birth near Franklin, and Strawberry Bank, resorted buildings of the original settlement at Portsmouth. In 2003, the famous Old Man of the Mountain granite head profile, the state's official emblem, fell from its perch in Franconia. And now let's take a look at some New Hampshire state facts. Entered Union June 21st, 1788. Ninth state. Present Constitution adopted 1784. And now let's take a look at some fun facts about New Hampshire. And here's a look at some New Hampshire fun facts, everyone. The state abbreviated in /postal code nh.h/New Hampshire. Nickname is the Granite State. Origin of the name from the English country of New Hampshire. Motto is live free or die. State symbols. Animal, white-tailed deer. Amphibian, red-spotted newt. Bird, purple finch. Butterfly, Kerner blue. Dog, Chinook. Fresh game fish, brook trout. Insect, ladybug. Salt game fish, striped bass. Shell, quahog. Flower, purple lilac. Fruit, pumpkin. Tree, white birch. Wild flower, pink lady slippers. Gem, smoky quartz. Mineral, burley. Rock, granite. Song, old New Hampshire. And sport skiing. Sorry about that. And the government, about the government in New Hampshire. And the state capital is in Concord, New Hampshire. That is the capital. The current governor is Chris Sununu. The population of New Hampshire. Economy of New Hampshire. Geographic of New Hampshire. Famous New Hampshire natives and residents. U.S. state comparison. And some other things about New Hampshire. Let's see. Here's a list of cities in New Hampshire. Take a look. We got Berlin, Claremont, Concord, Franklin, Keene, Laconia, Lebanon, Hartford, Vermont, Manchester, Nashua, Portsmouth, and Rochester, Dover. Those are some popular areas of New Hampshire. New Hampshire is internationally known for the New Hampshire primary, the first primary in the U.S. Dixville Notch, way up in Coos County, and Hart's location in Carroll County, are the first to vote in New Hampshire. State law permits a town with fewer than 100 to open its polls at midnight and close when all registered citizens cast their ballots. New Hampshire highways. Let's take a look at New Hampshire highways and railways. Here's a look at the New Hampshire highways for you. In Fort Air, New Hampshire has 25 public use airports, 3 with some scheduled commercial passenger service, The busiest airport by number of passengers handled is Manchester Boston Regional in Manchester and Londonderry, which serves the greater Boston metropolitan area as well. Also, there's an airport in Lebanon, Lebanon Municipal Airport. Also, an airport in Portsmouth, Portsmouth International Airport at Pease. Also, airport in Nashua, Nashua Airport. Berlin Airport, Claremont Municipal Airport, Concord Municipal Airport, Jaffrey Airport, Silver Branch, Keene, Dalton Hopkins Airport, Lincoln Municipal Airport, Pearl Field Airport in Newport, Plymouth Municipal Airport, Rochester Sky Haven Airport, Whitefield Mount Washington Regional Airport, Alton Bay Sub-Based Airport. And here's some other airports in New Hampshire. That's a list of airports in New Hampshire. Public transportation, long distance for passenger rail service is provided by Amtrak, Vermontor, and Down Eastern lines. Greyhound Concord, Coach, Vermont Transline, and Dartmouth Coach all provide bus connections to and from points in New Hampshire and long distance points between and in between. Tourist railroads include Conway Scenic Railroad, Hobo Winnipesaukee Railroad, and the Mount Washington Cog Railroad. Freight railways, Concord and Claremont Railways, Pan Am Railways, the New England Central Railroad, St. Lawrence Atlantic Railroad, and New Hampshire Northern Coast Corporate Railroad. Education. Let's take a look at the list of educations. The first public high school in the state were the Boys High School and Girls High School of Portsmouth, established either in 1827 or 1830, depends on the sources. And here's a look at some colleges and universities in New Hampshire. And a list of the media in New Hampshire. You have all these New Hampshire newspapers, all in New Hampshire. Other publications. Radio stations and television stations. Here's a list of all the radio stations in New Hampshire. A lot of radio stations in New Hampshire, we can say. In sports teams, we got the New Hampshire Fishercats, Manchester Monarchs, Seacoast United Phantoms, Manchester Freedom, and New Hampshire Olympic Development Program. And also the New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon. That brings NASCAR. Culture in New Hampshire. A bunch of country fairs in New Hampshire. Fiction in New Hampshire. comics, films that got filmed in New Hampshire, and television shows that were in New Hampshire as well. New Hampshire firsts. And now let's take a look at New Hampshire counties. Here is a map of the New Hampshire counties. We got Rockingham County, Hillsborough County, Cheshire County, Merrimack County, Strafford County, Sullivan County, Belknap County, Carroll County, Grafton County, and Coos County. And here's a look at New Hampshire, map of New Hampshire. And near New Hampshire is Massachusetts, Maine, and Vermont. And Atlantic Ocean. And that is all about New Hampshire. And that does it for my first episode of Exploring with Riley King. I hope you enjoyed this first episode of Exploring with Riley King. I'll see you back here for another episode of Exploring with Riley King tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.